the Lord Jehovah has shofet, the Lord, the judge. He has spoken with me today about a tremendous event that is about to take place on the earth. I see the United States of America, all of a sudden a phenomenon takes place. The Lord has taken me into the future. I've already lived that day. I see something like a tornado, a cloud of tornado from heaven, from above the sky, hit that soil, and I see the dust that came up and fumed like a cloud, like a funnel of cloud. The explosion of that dust went up in fumes and joined with the sky, fumes of dark cloud, when the dust was now spewing this side, and then all of a sudden, water flooding. I see a tornado, a cloud of tornado from heaven, from above the sky, hit that soil, and I see the dust that came up and fumed like a cloud, like a funnel of cloud. And then all of a sudden, it became water flooding, people running to the hills. And distress consumes the land. And a lot of running. It is shocking itself. I see the United States of America, a lot of dust. There was a big panic. The church in the United States, the Lord is saying, now turn away from sin. Now question the immorality in the church. Now question the falsehood you see in the church. Question the false prophets. Question your false apostles. This is the hour now when the church has to make gains on righteousness and holiness. Holiness, righteousness. Prepare the way. I have seen the Messiah coming. I have seen my Lord coming. Now turn away from sin.
Good evening, I'm Anthony Mason. Harvey is just hours from blasting the Gulf Coast of Texas. It's grown into a life-threatening hurricane. This image from the International Space Station gives a sense of its size and power. 22 million are in its path.
Storm surge could reach 12 feet. That's strong enough to wash away vehicles.
This is going to be a very major disaster.
There are reports of tornadoes touching down all over the Houston area, which could make the Attic a dangerous place to be.
It spun off tornadoes and soaked parts of the state with rain. Hey, is anybody up there that wants to go? You guys okay?
Officials rescuing more than 1,000 residents.
Any kids? 2 kids, all right. You got the baby?
But unable to get to everyone.
Listen to me, the people of the world. Who stops the ocean? Who tells the ocean where to stop? Who tells the oceans where to stop? The Lord showed me the beaches, nudity, women magazines naked, everything. Who tells the oceans where to stop? God is a serious God.
Tremendous event is about to take place on the earth. I see the United States of America, all of a sudden a phenomenon takes place. All of a sudden, a cloud came from above and hit the place, but out of the ground gushes dust, black dust. All of a sudden now, where people are, their homes in that place. But now look, I see a tornado, a cloud of tornado from heaven, from above the sky, hit that soil, and I see the dust that came up and fumed like a cloud, like a funnel of cloud. The explosion of that dust went up in fumes and joined with the sky, fumes of dark cloud, when the dust was now spewing this side, and then all of a sudden, it became water flooding. We were afraid as we ran, people running to the hills. So that's why when the Lord brings up this prophecy of a huge tornado, a cloud of tornado from heaven, from above the sky, out of the soil explosion of dust, like fumes, as if a cloud came and touched the soil, and people are running, I'm running there. And then water begin to exude out and distress consumes the land, and a lot of running. It is shocking itself. A lot of dust. There was a big panic as the dust was coming. When the big cloud from above came and hit the soil, a huge black dust, and columns and waves of black dust, and all of a sudden, then water also appeared and began to flood. The water was coming full speed to flood everything else, homes. So there is a tremendous distress that is coming in the United States of America. So this is the kind of distress that is coming. Again, I see something very big, that cloud coming in the form of a funnel, hit the United States of America. But when this cloud hits the ground, out of the ground comes a lot of dust. Dark dust comes out of the ground, and when that happens out of the ground, then there's a lot of running, the fumes and dust. People are closing their noses, running away, closing the nose in fear. And then all of a sudden, water also came and began to come high-speed flooding the homes. The emergency care people announce, people get evacuate with microphones announcing. So there is a tremendous distress that is coming in the United States of America. We are living at a critical threshold. We are living on the verge of eternity. The earth is living on the verge of eternity. And the Lord is saying that this earth will come to destruction Woe unto those that have trusted and trusted themselves unto the earth. Woe unto those that have depended on this earth. Because it's saying, for all those that are created by Jehovah, those that are obedient unto the Lord, this is the hour now to pursue righteousness. The hour to make amends in our lives. The hour to trust in Jesus, to be born again. Being born again is holy. This thing you see in the church in the United States, where it is jumping and then dressing the way you want, and worldliness. You see the church in the United States, the trend, where they are bent to modernity. They are leaning to modernity in salvation. Christianity, according to 2017 standard version, modernism and modernity, where women dress the way they want. They dress with nudity in the church, immorality is in the house, abortions are in the house, the lasting and what worship has become a place where now there is sexual lust going on in the house. The Lord is saying that the genuine, the true worship experience that Jesus inaugurated on that cross is holy worship, holiness, righteousness. And that the Lord is separated from sin, and He requires of those that worship Him to also separate from sin. The Christians, Christ's followers, also unto them is required blamelessness. That we should live under the influence of the Holy Spirit and make every effort to shun sin, to reject sin, to have zero tolerance to sin, to refuse sin. He's saying, we are waiting for the kingdom of Christ Jesus, the Messiah, the messenger that prepares the way, is here. And that gives us joy, because the coming of the Messiah then has drawn nigh, has drawn nearer than before. How awesome. And so the Lord is saying, let all the nations now begin to worship Jesus in holiness. Worship God the Father through Christ Jesus in holiness. The church in the United States, prepare the way. I have seen the Messiah coming. I have seen my Lord coming. And God the Father has sent me to defend the ministry of the Messiah, the blood of the Messiah, the cross of the Messiah, because the kingdom of the Messiah is now near. May those who have ears or Lord ears now turn away from sin. Now question the immorality in the church. Now question the falsehood you see in the church. Question the false prophets. Question your false apostles. This is the hour now when the church has to make gains on righteousness and holiness. And those that will hearken to this voice, you will see the glorious eternal kingdom of God.
Friday, August 25th, 4:20 Mountain Time, 2017. You're looking at Hurricane Harvey.
see a cloud of tornado from heaven, from above the skies, hit that soil, and I see the dust that came up and fumed like a cloud, like a funnel of cloud.
Go back! We have to find out if anyone's in there!
And then all of a sudden, it became water flooding, and a lot of running. It is shocking itself because the water was coming full speed to flood everything else.
Today, people fled the central Texas coast ahead of the brunt of Hurricane Harvey.
I'm watching the roof behind me. I'm seeing the roof behind me is starting to split. Beams are starting to separate. I can see there's big cracks now. It's on the I-beams on the big posts are starting to lift off.
Tonight, along the Texas Gulf Coast, utter devastation. In the town of Rockport, entire blocks are decimated.
Tonight, this is a Fox News alert. We are following three major breaking news stories. According to the National Weather Service, Texas, they're now bracing for up to 20 inches of additional rainfall after this historic and catastrophic flooding. Now, according to estimates, 9 trillion gallons of water have already been dumped on the area, and some parts could see a total of 50 inches of rain.
And then all of a sudden, it became water flooding, and a lot of running. It is shocking itself because the water was coming full speed to flood everything else.
the city is now facing an unprecedented flood event. Thousands of people are in need of rescue, including these elderly residents at this nursing home in Dickinson, about 30 miles southeast of Houston.
Overnight, the situation in Houston getting dire.
This is all happening right now as we come on the air, and the situation is unfortunately dire. People trapped in their flooded out homes.
Torrential rains battering America's fourth largest city. Reports of people trapped inside their homes.
Take a look around me. I'm walking in downtown Houston, and you can see that I am surrounded by water.
There are reports of tornadoes touching down all over the Houston area, which could make the attic a dangerous place to be.
And making matters even worse, this storm Harvey likely to stick around for days upon days, dumping more and more rain, exacerbating the flooding that's already happening and hampering officials from getting out to make those rescues. Take a look at the images just coming in. This is an entire highway that is underwater.
Country's fourth largest city is already facing what could be one of the worst flooding disasters in American history.
Hundreds of streets and highways can only be navigated by boat.
The National Weather Service says some parts of the Houston area could get 50 inches of rain. That's more than 4 feet before the storm is finished.
Entire neighborhoods have been flooded. Police told people who were trapped in their homes to take axes with them if they planned to climb up to their attics so they could chop through their roofs to flag down rescue workers.
Here's the update from the National Weather Service. They said that this is beyond anything it has ever experienced. And the flooding will max out on Wednesday or Thursday, and then it will finally start to recede very slowly. The FEMA administrator also predicts more than 30,000 people will need temporary shelter. We've seen just here, though, it's more than they expected just at this one location.
While scrambling to save her mom from floodwaters in a nearby city, Samantha caught on a flooded interstate herself, climbing to safety.
Like this. I didn't even imagine that it was going to be this catastrophic like this.
This is Houston, Texas, America's fourth largest city. Much of it is now under floodwater. More than 76 centimeters of rain has fallen since Friday, when Hurricane Harvey made landfall. And it hasn't stopped. The deluge is incessant.
Water is probably another 4 inches since I was here a couple hours ago.
Emergency services are at breaking point, unable to cope.
Very eerie. Your stuff's floating around. You know it's all lost on the bottom floors. And
Houston is known as the city of the bayou. It's crisscrossed by 1,700 miles of channels and creeks, all unable to cope with the relentless rain, causing the floodwater to keep rising.
Houston police officer carried a mother and her 13-month-old son through floodwaters after rescuing them. This same spot is normally a busy 8-lane highway. Before and after pictures like these provide a startling look at the catastrophic flooding.
Treetops, as you've seen. These photos of Houston show floodwater filling downtown streets. This is a look at Interstate 610 taken from a traffic camera last year. And this is what it looked like after the historic flooding in the area.
This emergency care people announce people get evacuate with microphones announcing.
hey, is anybody up there wants to go? You guys okay?
Officials rescuing more than 1,000 residents.
Any kids? 2 kids, all right. You got the baby?
But unable to get to everyone.
We are now beginning to see helicopter rescues here in Houston, expected to continue throughout the night. One of the questions people are asking here is why wasn't there a mandatory evacuation order for the city, which may be facing a new threat in the days ahead. Here with more on all that is Stephanie.
For the 4th straight day, the storm that just won't go away dumped yet more water on a state still reeling. Nearly 7,000 people have been rescued. There they are.
Oh my
We're coming to get you.
Oh my goodness.
First responders and volunteers alike racing against rising floodwaters.
Oh, she's hugging Jeff. I know, my goodness.
Trying to reach thousands of trapped families in Houston and the surrounding areas. Coast Guard baskets hoisting so many of those trapped to safety. Helmet cameras showing the white-knuckle ride to their choppers above. In this suburb south of Houston, a team of volunteers from Galveston used their boats to navigate rivers that were once streets. They scour this area for hours, saving family after family.
It's estimated the storm has affected about a quarter of the population of Texas, or almost 7 million people.
It is a colossal rescue effort. Thousands stranded, taken by boat and helicopter. Their faces tell the story of anguish, anxiety, and fear.
It's a race against time. In Bay City, Texas, a frantic rush to evacuate the senior center.
Emergency centers are taking more than 1,000 calls per hour. But dealing with the ongoing crisis means there's little time to go and search for more victims. Even these are stretched to breaking point, and they're barely able to cope with the influx.
JG! All right, buddy. Good job, buddy.
All these are the landmarks. They are the demarcations on the prophetic timeline of God. This should be reason for us to be happy. Why? Because we know surely the earth is not our eternal home. Woe are to those who have invested unto this earth, who have relied on the created things, who have worshipped creature created by God. Woe are to those who have worshipped creature created by God.
And myself out and my 4 cats, that I was only able to take 1 cat with me and Lexi, and the other 3 are in the back of their house in the crates.
Alright, he can come out now, son. Go ahead and careful with him. You don't have to let him blow some wind somewhere.
Of that dust went up in fumes and joined with the sky, fumes of dark cloud, people running to the hills. And distress consumes the land.
This is a Fox News alert. This is a live picture from Crosby, Texas. There's a fire right now. You can see the huge plumes of black smoke there at the Texas chemical plant. This is the Arkema plant, about 20 miles northeast of Houston, which happened when Hurricane Harvey's floodwaters really engulfed the backup generators at this chemical facility. Everyone around that facility, the residents, have been evacuated about a mile and a half.
Situation that's unfolding in Texas, this explosion at a chemical plant there.
We ended up evacuating or assisting in the evacuation of personnel that was in the plant, and at that time we had a conference call with Arkema, their corporate office, to find out exactly what was going on in the plant.
I see a cloud of tornado from heaven, from above the sky, hit that soil, and I see the dust that came up and fumed like a cloud, like a funnel of cloud. hour, we are living at a critical threshold. We are living on the verge of eternity. The earth is living on the verge of eternity. And the Lord is saying that this earth will come to destruction. Woe unto those that have trusted and trusted themselves unto the earth. Woe unto those that have depended on this earth. Because it's saying, for all those that are created by Jehovah, those that are obedient unto the Lord, this is the hour now to pursue righteousness. The hour to make amends in our lives. The hour to trust in Jesus, to be born again. Being born again is holy. This thing you see in the church in the United States, where it is jumping and then dressing the way you want, and worldliness. You see the church in the United States, the trend, where they are bent to modernity. They are leaning to modernity in salvation. Christianity, according to 2017 standard version, modernism and modernity, where women dress the way they want. They dress with nudity in the church, immorality is in the house, abortions are in the house. The last thing, and what worship has become a place where now there is sexual lust going on in the house. The Lord is saying that the genuine, the true worship experience that Jesus inaugurated on that cross is holy worship, holiness, righteousness. And that the Lord is separated from sin, and He requires of those that worship Him to also separate from sin. The Christians, Christ followers, also unto them is required blamelessness. That we should live under the influence of the Holy Spirit and make every effort to shun sin, to reject sin, to have zero tolerance to sin, to refuse sin. He's saying, we are waiting for the kingdom of Christ Jesus, the Messiah, the messenger that prepares the way, is here. And that gives us joy, because the coming of the Messiah then has drawn nigh, has drawn nearer than before. How awesome. And so the Lord is saying, let all the nations now begin to worship Jesus in holiness. Worship God the Father through Christ Jesus in holiness. Prepare the way. I have seen the Messiah coming. I have seen my Lord coming. And God the Father has sent me to defend the ministry of the Messiah, the blood of the Messiah, the cross of the Messiah, because the kingdom of the Messiah is now near. May those who have ears or Lord ears now turn away from sin. Now question the immorality in the church. Now question the falsehood you see in the church. Question the false prophets. Question your false apostles. This is the hour now when the church has to make gains on righteousness and holiness. And those that will hearken to this voice, you will see the glorious eternal kingdom of God. This is he about whom the Bible spoke, about whom the scriptures wrote, that the Lord shall send a messenger to prepare the way for the Messiah. Shalom.
the people of the world. Who stops the ocean? Who tells the ocean where to stop? Who tells the oceans where to stop? The Lord showed me the beaches, nudity, women magazines, naked, everything. Who tells the oceans where to stop? Listen to me, the people of the world. Who stops the ocean? Who tells the ocean where to stop? Who tells the oceans where to stop? God is a serious God.